I'm at the bank making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible.
What is up, investors? Welcome back to In the Green with Charlie. Today my guest is John Rho, a high school student who started a financial education organization called Cash Club. John explains his history with Cash Club and gives his investing strategy. Here is our conversation. Hey John, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
That's great to hear. So could you start by just giving us a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, I'm John. I'm a rising senior, or I guess a senior technically now, at Plano West Senior High School. And, I love to invest, and I have an interest in both economics and also audiology.
Awesome. And that's Plano, Texas?
Yep, Plano, Texas.
Awesome. And so, John, what was the first time you interacted with the stock market?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I'd say it was about 2 years ago. I was on vacation in Korea with my family, and I was just playing around with like a stock trading platform, but I was just playing on my phone. I was checking it out, and I decided, why not start an account of my own? So I actually downloaded the app and I tried signing everything up, and I ran into a problem, and that was that I wasn't old enough. So I had my dad sign in and everything, and he put in his login and stuff after I convinced him that it wasn't a scam or anything. And that's when I started investing.
What was the very first stock you ever bought?
The very first stock I ever bought was Microsoft. I was just entering sophomore year, and I really wanted to buy for the long term because I'd read all these articles on websites like Quora and Investopedia just talking about how investing is perfect for generating passive income in addition to setting up a secure financial future for yourself. So I looked up what is the best stock to buy right now, and quite naively, I just picked whatever the first stock was, and that ended up being Microsoft. I actually still have that Microsoft share to this day, and it's been great. Microsoft has had a great run these last 2 years, and I have no regrets over picking that stock.
Awesome. So you are the co-founder and director of something called Cash Club. Could you just first explain what Cash Club is to people who might not know?
Yeah, sure. So Cash Club began around 2018. It just started off as a single club at our high school. So at our school, we didn't really have many business clubs or opportunities. So as a group of friends and we decided that we would create one of our own. And it started off as the corporate analyst of Shepton High. So that spells out Cash Club. Originally, the name we were going to pick was Shepton High Investment Team. But we realized we couldn't put those letters on a t-shirt for obvious reasons. So we decided to just stick with the Cash Club name. So, with Cash Club, we cover a lot of investing fundamentals. The idea is we can create this community in which students can really share their ideas and meet with other like-minded students to learn about the market, in addition to really doing practice. And of course, the practice is where investor comes in. And investor is great because there's no risk involved. You can just sign into the app with your Google account or just make one with your email and you're set. You can just start investing risk-free and get a lot of good practice in.
So how many people are involved with the Cash Club now?
We have a lot of branches now as of this school year. So the 2020 to 2021 school year, we have around just over 30 branches planned for the upcoming school year. And we're working right now on a new initiative to bring Cash Club to other places like Malaysia. So one thing we're doing is we're trying to partner with some government entities there to try to spread the club as far and wide as possible to reach the maximum number of students that we can.
So are all 30 of those branches currently in the U.S.?
We actually have one planned in Canada, and we have one in Dubai, and we also have two in India. So not all in the U.S., but a vast majority of them are.
What has been your favorite thing about being the director of Cash Club?
I'd say being a director has been quite an interesting journey over the last year or two. I'd say my most favorite thing would be just being able to organize a lot of cool events. Like over the summer, we were able to launch a new initiative, and that was the Cash Club WOW initiative, which stands for Women on Wall Street. And that's something we wanted to do to boost female engagement in both the club and in the field of finance as a whole. And we had the CMO of Investor, Mrs. Derhali, come in and speak to our students And we were able to boost female engagement in the club by over 50% through virtual means. So to answer your question more succinctly, I think that just being able to have the freedom to do cool things is definitely a big plus.
That's awesome. And say there's a listener who's hearing about this and learning about the Cash Club and wants to bring it to their school, or a parent who wants to bring it to their school. What can they do to reach out to you or someone else to bring Cash Club to their school?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. You can just go on our website, cashclubcorp.info, and we have a section at the top of our page where you can just sign up for a branch. You just type in your name, your school, just other details about yourself, like why you want to start a branch, and our directors will be there to review it as soon as possible. And then from there, we can set up an orientation where we run you through how to join Investor and how to like use our curriculum and stuff.
Awesome. That's super cool. And I'm very impressed that you're so involved with all this and doing such a great job as a director. So moving on to more of your experience investing and your experience on the app, you've been really successful this month with returns over 32%. What has been your strategy recently?
Yeah, so over the last few months, I've mostly had out the same portfolio. So one thing that I've made a lot of gains on, mostly through swing trades, is just on Tesla, of course. I think that the company has been really hot this summer for maybe reasons that don't always make sense, but that's definitely one of the biggest sources of gains for me personally. And I think that I guess one role model of mine would definitely be Mr. Musk himself. I think just the way he goes about his life and like tries to push humanity towards like these really cool visions that he has for the future. I think that's just very admirable, and that's why I think I respect the company Tesla a lot. And I also hold a lot of other cryptos like Ethereum and Bitcoin, which have done great also over the summer. So usually with investing, I just like to kind of like follow the news and like just kind of get a gauge of how market sentiment is doing on particular stocks, and that's where I make most of my investments.
So I have a couple follow-up questions. The first is, you mentioned swing trading. Could you explain what swing trading is to someone who might not know what that term means?
Yeah, sure. So kind of put simply, it's like it's kind of like how it sounds. Like let's say you're on a swing, the stock is going back and forth, and you kind of just make sure to enter at the right time. And when it swings up, that's when you sell. When it swings down, that's kind of like when you buy.
And then, so you mentioned that you really like trading cryptocurrencies. When you're trading stocks and other things, I think a lot of people know where to go to get news and what types of things to base their trades off of. But with crypto, it might not be as clear. So what strategies do you use when you're trading cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so I usually just kind of look at more of just the charts, and it's more like a technical analysis approach. So usually I just kind of look at like moving averages, and I just see one thing you can do is you can see if like the short-term moving average is going above the long-term, and that could be a signal to buy in because the stock is doing hot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
What have you been more successful with? Have you been more successful trading crypto or trading stocks?
I've been more successful for the most part trading with stocks, because I think that for the most part stocks are much more predictable, or at least the big cap stocks like Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, the stocks everyone knows. Whereas a lot of the cryptos, I think they're more on and off, and they're more, I would say they're more subject to a lot of the news that's going on, which is a little bit unpredictable. Because I think at least with companies, you can always kind of fall back on the fundamentals. Is this company, poised for the long term, for the future? Is this company turning a profit? You can look at their financials, but it's a bit more complicated with crypto.
What's the number one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's trying to get into trading cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, so for people trying to get into trading cryptos, one thing that I would recommend is, I'll probably bring in an anecdote here. I had a close friend of mine. He's a bit older than I am, but he, like back in 2017, he bought into crypto when he was around like 18K or so. So specifically Bitcoin. And he really thought it was going to go a lot higher, but it ended up peaking at around, 19K, 20K. And he ended up losing a lot of money, which was quite devastating for him. So I would say the number one tip would be not to just to kind of avoid following the crowd. it's a lot wiser to kind of like use your own judgment, and to do your own due diligence versus just following what everyone else is doing, but also to understand what everyone else is doing and to kind of like see where you can profit from there.
Gotcha. Well, John, do you have any final thoughts for the investor community today?
Yeah, so I just think that Investor is such a nice app for especially students to get involved, because it serves as a great set of almost, I guess an analogy would be training wheels for anyone looking to invest long term. And of course, Investor has its own platform now to invest real money through the platform. So I think Investor is like a one-stop shop for both education and investing. So I just think it's a great app and everyone should try it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast today, John.
Yep, it's been a pleasure.
Making money, making moves. Machines with tools and drills, making grooves. Missions impossible.
I am not a financial advisor, and my comments should never be taken as financial advice. Investments come with risk, so always do your research and analysis beforehand.